And because it's a high value home, we charge more for high value home policies. And then I look at the policy again and I'm like, but you're not changing the coverage. You're not doubling the coverage you're giving me, but you're doubling the price that I have to pay because of how my home looks when you came and inspected it. And they're like, yeah, basically. And I said, oh, no. I don't think you understand. I will not do business with you. Surging home insurance costs could force families to leave these 10 states. Home insurance premiums are skyrocketing, and that could force Americans out of these 10 states. Do me a favor, while you're watching this, put in the comments below what state that you're watching this from. I live in Texas, and I can tell you last year I had the worst debacle with my home insurance, at least on the premiums. Praise Jesus, I didn't have to use my home insurance this year, but last year my premium, so it usually renews around April, so it's coming up pretty soon, I know that. Last year the premium renewed and it was a good 20% higher. And so I call up the agent and I'm like, this is not going to work. What are you going to do about it? And she's like, well, that's the best we got. Take it or leave it. So I was like, okay, let me look around. So I'm calling these places and looking at different places to get insurance from. And then I hear that Costco actually has insurance. And so I was pretty stoked. I'm like, I'm a Costco customer. I love shopping at Costco. Let's check out their insurance. Their insurance was a tad bit cheaper. I mean, maybe $100 over the course of a year. It wasn't a significant change. And even when I rolled in my autos and my umbrella insurance, it just really wasn't that big of a difference. But I was like, you know what? I can put everything in one place. I like Costco. We'll just move it all there. About 30 days after I'd got my insurance, I get a notice in the mail that says, hey, you have a bill due for your insurance. And I look at it and it's twice as much, two times high as they had quoted me for. So I call them up and I'm like, what's the deal? I switched over to you guys because you were a lower rate and I just wanted to go with Costco, put everything in one place. And they're like, yeah, well, we sent a home inspector out and we decided that your home is a high value home. And because it's a high value home, we charge more for high value home policies. And then I look at the policy again and I'm like, but you're not changing the coverage. You're not doubling the coverage you're giving me, but you're doubling the price that I have to pay because of how my home looks when you came and inspected it. And they're like, yeah, basically. And I said, no. I don't think you understand. I will not do business with you. And every chance I get, I will tell everybody else not to do business with you because that is some kind of unsavory business practices. So whatever you do, don't go get Costco home insurance because as soon as they did that, I cut the cord and I'm like, I'm going to go back to the agent that I left. And of course, it ended up costing me even more than before. So I get it. Home insurance is crazy. And I saw a story not all that long ago that said that the major home insurance companies actually made their own syndicate, made their own, what is the word I'm trying to think of? They made their own like crime family, basically, and went to Congress and said, hey, we have to raise the rates everywhere by 30%. And Congress was like, okay, whatever you want. So if you weren't paying all that much for home insurance now, you probably will be in the very near future. So let's take a look at this. Home insurance premiums are skyrocketing. The astronomical rise in mortgage rates, so mortgage financing rates and home prices over the last year has pushed the key tenet of the American dream out of reach for millions of families, right? A lot of people can't even get into a house. And now there's another obstacle, higher home insurance premiums. Now, with a mortgage, right, in theory, you're building equity in the home. But with the insurance, if you don't use it, it just evaporates, right? You don't get any sort of like credit towards the next policy or any sort of credit towards the next home repair that you need to do. No, it just evaporates. It just frustrates me. I actually worked at two different insurance companies. I've worked at State Farm and I worked at Union Standard Insurance Company in Dallas, which is a commercial lines insurance company. So I totally get the insurance industry. And the average home cost for a $300,000 property in the U.S. surged 12% to roughly $1,770 per year. A growing number of insurance companies are opting to leave states like California and Florida, driving prices even higher for these homeowners. I have the privilege to work with directly with a lot of financial institutions. And I was having a conversation with one in Louisiana the other day. And they told me that they are having people who are getting approved for mortgages, even at these higher rates, who are ready to buy their home, and then they decide not to. They decide not to get the mortgage because the insurance cost per month is higher than the mortgage cost per month. And that just made me sick to my stomach, right? You're taking people's American dream away just because the insurance is so high. Just awful. Florida is the most expensive state for home insurance, with the average annual cost rising by $9,000 last year. That's 400% higher than the national average. That's crazy talk. Rates jumped by 14% in 2023 as several major insurers stopped renewing certain policies and left the state entirely, citing concerns over hurricane risk. Severe damages in Florida topped $15 billion last year. Oklahoma, you wouldn't have thought Oklahoma, right? But Oklahoma costs $4,700 on average. That's 170% higher than what the typical American pays. And premiums rose 24% last year. The insurance commissioner there blamed the increase on weather and the rising cost of building materials due to inflation, right? Of course. The median home value in Oklahoma is nearly 50% lower than a national average. So the home value is 50% lower, but the insurance premium is 170% higher. Isn't that just sick? It just makes me sick to my stomach. And then Texas, my home state. Texas insurance rates rose 18% in 2023, 452% more than wage growth in the state, and 124% higher than national insurance rate. Good gravy. Ugh. The Lone Star State also experienced a number of severe weather events last year, including 16 that caused $1 billion in damage apiece. Home insurance in Texas now costs an average of basically $4,000. So it doesn't really matter where you go. Insurance is going up, right? Insurance coverage in New York hit 10% higher than national average. And state after state after state, it seems like we just cannot get away from Biden inflation. Right. They wanted to tout Bidenomics, but now we're looking at Biden inflation, just ruining every sector out there. And then we can take a look at the AI trading data for a company like Allstate, right? Allstate, following these signal returns, you could have seen a 47.03% cumulative return here using the AI trading data from OVTLYR. And we actually got a sell signal on February 1st. So if you were an investor in an investor in Allstate, now may be the time to jump out, right? Take your profits, take those 47% signal returns and head out on the road. And if you want to head out on the road, be sure you head over to OVTLYRdeal.com, OVTLYR deal.com. We have a lifetime deal going on right now that will be expiring soon. And you can get a lifetime access to OVTLYR and all these signals for one very, very, very small price. So let's take a look at what the internet's saying about this, right? Florida is the most expensive state for home insurance, with the average cost rising $9,000. That's 400% higher than the national average. This person says, wait until a couple more hurricanes hit this year. Oh, geez. Hey, do me a favor real quick. YouTube is popping up one of these two videos, and I am sure that you're going to watch more. It thinks, based on the algorithm, that you're going to love to watch more. Thank you so much for tuning into today's OVTLYR Live. I'll see you on the next episode.